Two-time former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua will take on the American Jermaine Franklin at London's O2 Arena. So he's going to be fighting off the back of consecutive defeats to Alexander Usyk. The first time was in Tottenham, next one was in Saudi Arabia. Much better performance second time round. While his opponent Franklin suffered a first professional loss on points. That was to Dillian Whyte in November. Let's get a bit more on this then. Telegraph's boxing correspondent and talkSPORT's fight pundit Gareth A Davies is on the line.
Good morning, Gareth. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, thank you, Laura, Ali. It's a little early for me. I'm not used to this time in the morning, but I've had my coffee and I'm raring to go.
Gareth, please tell me, have you got the sunglasses on? Just lie if
I
you
have
don't.
indeed.
Oh,
I have indeed,
yes.
because I'm in the Eastern Mediterranean at the moment, so it's very bright here.
Oh, and now I can see you. Hey, you look fabulous. I can see you now on Zoom.
The
Hello.
Eastern Mediterranean, Gareth.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. You're not willing to give us any more than that. We shall move swiftly on to the fight.
You look like you're in witness protection, actually. You do.
Gareth, tell us about this fight now. Tell us a little bit about Jermaine Franklin. This is the first fight for Joshua in 7 years without a heavyweight title on the line. So it's clearly a massive fight for him. He's got to win it, hasn't he?
He has. Well, you know, as you rightly say, 7 years. It's 12 world title fights in a row for Anthony Joshua. And now he finally isn't in one. Jermaine Franklin, you know, he's probably ranked, I think he's 27 or 29 in the world amongst all the heavyweights. He put up a very good performance against Dillian Whyte back in November last year when some people thought he even pipped the fight on points. I had Whyte winning just. I was there live on the night. He's a guy with a lot of desire to achieve things, Jermaine Franklin, but I don't think he will against Anthony Joshua. I think it's a 5 or 6 round knockout for AJ. To be honest, if he goes 12 rounds, people will criticise him. If he knocks the guy out in 5 rounds, he won't have been good enough to face him. So he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't in this fight. But he really does need to get back into winning ways and have a dramatic statement knockout before, as we believe, he fights Dillian Whyte in July or August, certainly in the summer. And I don't resent him having, I don't mean an easy fight, because if he slips up against this guy, he's in trouble. And as you both know, Eddie Hearn's been quite obvious about the fact that if Anthony Joshua loses this fight, it's a very difficult road. I mean, it was anyway, but he has had 2 very difficult fights against Alexander Usyk. He was an improved fighter in the second one last August, but he's in a difficult place right now. But what he needs is a spectacular knockout and to look great and show that his confidence and self-belief is back.
Gareth, do you think with no title on the line, do you think it'd be harder for him to get up for it? Because I've seen that.
It is. It's a very good point. It's a very good point, Laura, that, you know, he's not got a great deal to gain from this, other than this is his first fight on the DAZN platform, truly on the DAZN platform in this new deal. I don't know how they're going to do it. It's at the O2 Arena. I wonder if they'll open the DAZN portals for this. It's not a pay-per-view event, so it's all under the radar before he goes back to these very, very big fights. The thing is with AJ, since 2016, indeed since 2012, when he won Olympic gold in his home city of London, he's been very visible. And, you know, even people like Joe Lewis back in the day, I mean, I'm talking back in the day in the 60s, 50s and 60s, used to fight what they call bum of the month at times, so that he could, you know, kind of run through opponents. It's not like that anymore. Mixed martial arts is around now. The UFC is around. Young people like to see the best fight the best very quickly. Boxing doesn't have a habit of doing that. And so he's in a difficult position right now. He just needs a couple of wins and he needs to look good.
Just a quick one, Gareth. He's got a new trainer for this fight, Derek James. Tell us a little bit about him. And secondly, an interesting one this morning, I was reading Bob Arum has come out and said that he believes that Eddie Hearn didn't want Joshua to fight Fury.
Oh, I completely agree with Bob Arum last year. The month of on-off negotiations. I mean, I think there was a big gamble it was an end game gamble for Joshua to fight Fury last year in December, on December the 3rd. I completely agree with that. And and I've forgotten what the other question was.
It was on Derek James, a new trainer.
Oh, Derek James. Sorry. It was early for me. I warned you. Derek James. I'm not awake for about another 10 minutes. No, Derek James. He trains the Charlo twins, one of whom is an undisputed champion at light middleweight, 154 pounds, and also Errol Spence. He's Dallas, Texas. And AJ is home this week for I think a stint with the media, but is out there already. Derek James likes his fighters to be very direct and very aggressive, but they are also very skilled, very fast fighters. He will instill a lot of confidence. He's a youngish man as well. Wasn't a world champion himself, but he instills a lot of self-belief into his fighters to actually go out there, use their tensile strength, and aggressively attack opponents. I think it's good for AJ because that's what AJ has to do. He has to be aggressive because that's his style. Behind a big booming jab. Listen, he's a massive puncher. I think some opponents have been saying this week that he's the biggest puncher they've ever faced. Look, he will do well. He needs to come back. He needs to come back from the tears and the disappointment against Usyk last August, but he came up against one of the trickiest guys in the heavyweight division. I've always said it. It's the last thing I'll say because I will leave. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk were always going to be the toughest opponents in the heavyweight division for Anthony Joshua stylistically.
Yeah. All right, Gareth. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gareth. Have a good day, mate.
For us.
My pleasure.
See you later. Gareth A Davies there, and talkSPORT's fight pundit, Telegraph's boxing correspondent as well. April the 1st, Jermaine Franklin is taking on Anthony Joshua.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.